All right, so today I am going to show you probably one of the most difficult renovation projects I have ever done. And I don't think I'm going to show you through pictures. I'm just going to take you guys with me, but this one's huge, 3,500 square feet, at least about 4,000. But you're going to see it. We've completely gutted the place. It's actually with me and my partner, Christine. So let's go ahead and check it out. A little bit of background details. Effectively, this property was one I bought in the historic Fells Point neighborhood of Baltimore City. As you probably all know, I have now 7 properties in Baltimore City, and this one we're going to be converting into a rooming house, and then I managed 11 more. So I guess that's my little portfolio that I've managed to amass in the about 2.5 years, 3 years basically, that I've been doing this. And this one I've bought with a partner. It's actually someone whom I met just on these whole YouTube journeys and such. So I get to meet a lot of people. Definitely excited to check this one out. We got it fully gutted, and now we're in the planning stages, which is something I definitely suggest you do a lot of planning on a house this big. Actually, just do planning on any house. I've messed up other houses with lacks of planning, so definitely make sure to draw out and know what you're going to do before you demo. I'm passenger side driving as Christine takes us to both of our properties today. So, like I said, I'm going to be... So both of us are going to be looking at 2 of our properties today, but I am going to be showing you the one that is the full gut renovation. And I mean, Christine even knows about this. This one's pretty much the most expensive one I've ever done. It was a $185,000 purchase price. And Christine, what's your renovation estimate? What are you thinking it's going to cost to renovate this thing?
Wait, which one are you talking about?
Talking about South Washington.
Oh, that one? I think it's going to be like 160.
160? All right. So she's got her bets on 160. I think now that I've done some design plans, I would actually go with that. But just to make it fun, maybe for future videos, I'm going to bet I'll go with 170. There you go. So if it's a little above, then there you go. So I'll be like, but we need this extra bathroom in there, Christine, so I can be right in the bet. So, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and drive there now. We're actually getting most of the money, in fact, all of the money, from hard money loans and private money loans. So if you guys don't know what those are, check it out on the channel. I talk about it a lot, but we got a hard money loan to purchase the entire house. The one whole 185 plus the closing costs. He paid for that up front. We got a 12% interest, no points or anything else. Then the other person is funding the entire renovation. This is a 10% interest rate, and once again, no points, nothing else. So we actually have the entire thing funded without any money out of pocket, which is really comforting for Christine because she went into this originally just paying for properties all cash, but now she gets to see the beauty of not using your own money to do that.
Sold all my stocks.
There you go. She sold all her stocks to get it. She was real upset when some of them skyrocketed, but you don't have to do that. You don't need your own money to invest in real estate. As you guys know, I started this with $500, so I definitely didn't have the money starting out. So I'll show you this property right now. All right, and here we are on the first floor of the house, where we have this whole gut renovation going on. So it's going to be a little hard to see, but you can see probably to the back of the entire room. I have, I'm not sure if really you're catching that on the camera there, but basically this entire place took a full crew about 14 days to gut the entire thing. So it took about $14,000, and you're going to see why as we go upstairs. There's 3 floors to this, and this shoots so far back that you can actually not even see the end of it, probably from you looking at it right here. So let's go ahead and check it out. So here we actually have, we actually had to tear up all this. We actually had a lot of water damage, and this is victim to fire damage as well. So we have a ton going on here that we had to tear through. We actually have to rebuild all of this. We have to do a structural engineer, have him do drawings and plans for the entire location. That's costing us about $3,500 for him to go through the permits and all of that. Keep in mind that demo cost of $14,000 does include the trucks and everything to haul it all away. It includes him to sweep this place clean, which I know it's hard to tell that it's actually been swept clean, but it has been. Well, you'll see that more on the upper stairs. This actually used to be a carriage house or some kind of sewing factory. And you can see all the way to the end of it. Actually, it's Christine, I guess you can kind of walk down it. But this thing is huge, and we actually intend to turn this not only into a 2-car garage situation, but also it's going to have a full efficiency. So we're going to lower the ceiling slightly, and there's going to be a full efficiency in this area that we're actually going to separate from the rest of the house. And that way, for a seller, they can look at it as kind of like a mother-in-law suite or Airbnb kind of unit that they can use, or maybe even keep their kids in it if they really want to. Now, one unique thing about this house is actually the fact that we could actually turn it into 2 houses. This is actually a legal duplex, but this area is so big that if we were to bump up the ceilings, because as of right now, they're not high enough to make it into a 2nd story, but if we did that, we could actually sell this house, and then this house would end up paying for the rest of the house, which, as you can see, is quite large. So this is something you could do. You just basically wall it off, make it an entire sort of efficiency here. It is actually really, really massive. I'll put up on the screen exactly how many square feet and all that it is, but it is really, really big. But the thing is, we actually have multiple water lines, multiple electric lines. There's already panels and stuff existing for this to be where we could actually sell it off as a completely separate section of the house and then do all the renovations we need to do for this part. All right, so here as we're walking into the house, you're gonna notice Christine going up these stairs, and you're gonna see they're actually quite small. The treads and the risers for the stairs are not up to code. So what we actually have to do is we just basically make another support right here, and then we get to rip down this one, and then we widen up these stairs. Now, if you want, you could apply to have the stairs be grandfathered in if the stairs were built in an older time, and then we wouldn't have to deal with this. But it's actually better for this whole room anyway, for the stairs to be opened up for the single family home, so that way beds and more modern appliances and stuff can be fit upstairs. Now, here's another little tricky reason why you don't want to flip homes like this. And by the way, when I say flip, I'm not talking about renovate. I'm talking about selling the house afterward. You renovate, that's the intention to sell. With flips, you really want cosmetic rehabs because you never know what you find. You can see here, all of this wood is completely charred and blackened. And when we bought it, it actually had drywall over it. So the owner actually tried to hide this fact that all of these are completely need to be replaced. These are massive costs, and this is going to need to now be replaced into the brick. It's going to have to be really reinforced and all that. And so there's a lot that needs to be done here. And actually you can see where some of the gaps here and all that, you can see this all needs to be kind of filled in and everything. So that's going to cost a lot of money that the person selling the house was trying to hide. Now, we already knew we were going to gut the place and redo it, but we didn't really know that this was going to be done. Now, luckily, we're holding the house. That means we can make up our costs over time. But had we not known that, this would have immediately blown our budget. Here you can see the effects of water damage and pretty much fire damage all at the same time. All this has got to be rebuilt. Another thing we're going to do is destroy this brick and open it all up. But in order to destroy this brick, we actually have to destroy the brick above it, and it has to be done in stages first because this brick is holding the brick above it. So just keep that in mind when you have your demo guys through, not to destroy load-bearing stuff. That would be a really bad idea. All right, future Devin here to talk to you about the rest of the property. We unfortunately couldn't keep a lot of the photos, but what I wanted to explain here is some of the other details that I left out. So obviously this renovation is going to be a lot more than $160,000 or even $170,000. The low end of this is probably going to be more like $200,000 and possibly up to $250,000. $250,000. Now, there would be some who would estimate as high as even $300,000, but we're doing a lot of cost-saving measures in order for it to not get that high. Now, keep in mind, our budget is actually $340,000, so we have plenty of money to make this project work, and we're doing way more than what we actually just described in the video, and I'll explain why. But as far as cost-saving measures, there's a number of things we could do. Obviously, making sure that all of our bathrooms and anything relying on water and drainage systems all go in a stack. This is something in our gut renovations you're definitely going to want to plan to do. The reason why is because it's much easier on the plumber to just go straight down, and it's also easier to just run the pipes up and down, and that's it. So we have all the bathrooms aligning with each other in a straight line, and then also being close to the drain lines, the existing drain lines. So we have no bathrooms in the front of the house where the drain line is not. Instead, they're all toward the rear of the house. That's where they are. So that's one thing about the plumbing that can make our costs cheaper. Also, I mentioned the brick wall that we could tear down. We're actually not going to. One factor cost that you can factor in is, it's probably cheaper to just leave the brick wall up and have the ductwork guys run under or below the brick wall or even through it than it would be to tear the whole thing down. So this is a cost that you can factor in, but in our case, it is cheaper to have them work around it. In this house, it's easily doable. So that's one thing they will definitely be doing. Other costs that we get to take out, there were some ideas about raising certain roofs and such, and also some of those, which we're not going to do, but also some of those beams that you saw that were charred were actually only surface level charred. Those beams are really, really old, and they're actually a lot stronger than modern beams that we use, the joists that we normally use in ceilings. So they're a lot bigger, a lot thicker, and if you just sand them down, you're going to find that most of it was actually more like smoke damage. So these are little things that can save us a lot of money in the long run. Now, as far as how we're designing this house, we're actually doing a ton. We're going to be making extra bump outs and increasing the square footage of the space. Now, remember, we're not just doing this just to have the biggest house ever. The comps in the area really support it. The house at the size it is now kind of offers toward the more lower, like maybe 350, max 400 level comps in the area. But if we increase the size of the finished space and add more bedrooms and bathrooms to match the larger homes in the area, we're looking at more of a 550 to 600,000 renovation. Now that's just that to start. So, but here's the thing, this house would actually make a terrible flip and would not be a good rental either. That might surprise many of you. You can watch my video on why I don't flip houses if you're curious on why this would be a terrible flip, but there's too much going on here, too much that could go wrong. You're much better off holding the house and trying to make up your costs long term. Now, as far as renting it long term, that's actually a terrible idea as well, because for a $550,000 house valuation, your mortgage is going to be too high for this area to support it. This is in the Fells Point neighborhood, so it's probably not going to work. The rents aren't high enough. But remember, I, on my channel, specialize in rooming houses. So I'm going to be actually rooming up many different areas of this building, and I actually have my own private parking spaces, which would be extremely lucrative to the tenants. And then also there's the idea of just splitting it into two houses if I want to. That would allow me to sell one house. I can rezone it, turn it into its own house, not a duplex, its own house. Then rezone it into a house, which is perfectly legal in the area, and it's actually easily possible. I'll talk about it in some of my videos as I do it. And then we can sell that off and use the profits to completely pay off the other house. It would actually be two houses for the price of one. And that's if we wanted to do it that way. The best part is the house is legally a duplex, which means that if we wanted to keep both halves and just rent each one as a separate thing, maybe one is a rooming house and one is a house, we could very easily do that, and that wouldn't be a problem either. So there are lots of different possibilities with this house. This is actually, although intimidating to most investors, and I'm not going to lie, even me at times, this is something that could work very well in our favor in multiple different ways. So I'll be showing you how we're going to be renovating this going forward, what exactly we're going to be doing with it. I'm actually extremely excited to be working on this project. In fact, even our structural engineer who's designing the place with us said he's this is one of the more tricky and complicated projects he's ever seen. So he's extremely interested in seeing how this goes. So if you're extremely interested in seeing how this goes, like and subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you want me to show you about this house. There is definitely a lot lot to unpack here, and I will talk to you all very soon and answer all your comments in the section below. So I'll see you soon.